It seems very, very likely that we are entering a recession. While it's hard to know for sure what is going to happen with the economy in the coming months, there are a few things to keep in mind to help you find a little more balance in your financial life. The first thing to do is to let go of any judgment you might have about the way you've handled money in the past. Don't beat yourself up for not being prepared enough. Focus instead on what you can do now, today, to build up the financial habits that will help you. Credit card debt is some of the most expensive debts. Each month you're charged around 20% interest on whatever balance, and getting rid of credit card debt is a first thing you should do. That's easier said than done, of course, especially when people may be living on a reduced income. Paying down debt is always an important step to take, but when a recession looms, doing so holds even more power than you think. The first thing to do to manage your credit card debt is look at your balance. If you're paying interest every month, you can call your credit card company to see if you qualify for lowering the rate you're paying. You can also try to negotiate a payment plan for paying off the balance. There are two approaches. The first calls for identifying the card with highest interest rate and putting extra money toward paying off that balance first. At the same time, make the minimum payments on other cards as well. When that card is paid off, apply the extra cash to the card with the next highest rate, and so on. The second approach involves paying off the card with the smallest balance first, for a sense of quick progress, an achievement of sorts, making minimum payments on the others. When the first card is paid off, move to the next lowest balance. If you have strong credit, consider applying for a card with a 0% transfer offer. You can move high interest balances to the new account and pay them off without incurring extra interest. However, you'll typically pay a fee of 3 to 5% of the balance you are moving, so this technique makes sense only if you can pay off balance during the no interest period, which often lasts 18 months. Depending on how much debt you have, it may be wise to see what your financial institution can offer you in terms of a personal line of credit or home equity loan. Transferring your debt load to an account with a much lower interest rate can create a little more breathing room for you to make payments and prioritize savings. Most of us are familiar with the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and this absolutely could be applied to your source of income. Relying solely on a particular job for all your income has inherent risk, because if the economy tanks and you lose your job, you'll also lose your only income and your ability to meet all your financial obligations. Having multiple streams of income can really help. If one income source starts to dwindle or gets eliminated completely, you have other sources to fall back on to help you keep afloat. Diversifying your income doesn't necessarily entail getting a second job. In fact, if your spouse is working in a different industry than you have some income diversity right there. However, if you'd like to stretch your wings and bring in some more income, you can look into many different options, such as renting out a room in your home, renting out space in your garage, or going so far as to buy a revenue property and rent it out. If you have a fairly flexible schedule, you can consider getting a weekend job, and if you have particularly strong skill set or are developing one, you can look for ways to cash in on those skills. For example, if you're a strong writer, you can look freelancing articles and blog posts. If you're crafty, you can sell your creations on Etsy and other platforms. And if you're handy around the house, you can consider advertising your services online on various platforms. Don't let these examples limit you. Any skill or talent you have could potentially be turned into a way to earn extra income. Downsize to a more frugal lifestyle. Downsizing and learning how to live frugally can be a great strategy, because if you can learn to make do with less, you'll increase your savings and you won't find yourself struggling to adapt to a new lifestyle when a recession hits. Living frugally isn't as difficult as it sounds, and contrary to popular opinion, a frugal lifestyle isn't about pinching pennies and depriving yourself of things that bring you joy. Rather, it's about making common sense spending choices that reduces expenses with minimal impact on your lifestyle. There are lots of ways you can start living frugally. If your family has 2 vehicles, consider reducing it to one and making one use of public transit. This choice alone could save you up to $9,000 per year. Or if having 2 cars is an absolute necessity, consider selling one of the cars for a more fuel-efficient vehicle to save on the cost of gas. You can also look into downsizing your home or apartment, spending less on groceries, and scaling back on your cell phone plan. The key is to ensure the way you are doing this is not extreme, or it will be difficult to sustain in the future. Save an emergency fund. When the economy starts to dip, our jobs and our income can be put in jeopardy, and it's for this reason that saving an emergency fund is crucial when you prepare for a recession. In a nutshell, an emergency fund is the money you've saved up for the sole purpose of helping you get through your day-to-day living during financial hardships. Whether your hours have been cut back, you've lost your job, your business isn't making any money, or you made some poor financial decisions, emergency savings will give you a safety net to fall back on so you can ride the wave and emerge from the recession back on your feet. If it's possible, try to save about 3 to 6 months worth of your wages so when the economy is down and money is tight, you won't have to turn to credit. Using credit as a safety net is a mistake haunts people for years after. Most don't foresee the reality there that they will need a larger income than they currently have to both repay the money plus interest and living expenses. Tough times always last longer than you would think, so debts from these times are always greater than anticipated. Since most people are used to living on their entire paycheck, they don't have anything extra to repay this debt, so they have to either increase their income or significantly downsize their lifestyle to afford repaying the debt with their current income. Diversify your investments. In addition to diversifying your income, it's also important to diversify your investments. If you have most of your money tied up in stock market, an economic downturn could be a financial disaster if all your money is tied up in one type of investment. And it's for this reason that diversifying your investments is key. Go through your investment portfolio and make sure your investments are spread out across different industries and even different types of assets, so that when the market tumbles, your investments won't be as affected and your losses won't be as deep. When it comes to diversification, you can park your money in a number of different investment vehicles. Real estate, whether it's buying a home, a condo, or even land, is a common investment that generally appreciates with time. Investing in stocks, especially the stock market index, is a good way to help your portfolio grow, while bonds have often been a good way to bring in income. Now, if you have your own small business and you want to know how you can save money for that business, then check out this video over here.